As the U.S. House gets ready to pin blame on the person Republicans say caused the border crisis, Oklahoma's senior senator is still working to solve the crisis in a way both sides can agree on. Our Washington Bureau Chief Alex Cameron caught up with Senator James Lankford.
Well, as the Senate GOP's lead negotiator, Lankford is running point on arguably the most critical issue before Congress right now. Border policy reform, he says, has to get done, and he's putting in the time to make sure it does.
It is an everyday, all-day thing. It has been now for almost 3 months.
Barely taking even a break for Christmas, Lankford, Arizona Independent Kyrsten Sinema,
this is very hard,
and Connecticut Democrat Chris Murphy are intent on this Congress being the first in 3 decades to pass meaningful immigration reform, an issue that's become so politicized that everyone has an opinion on it.
The challenge of trying to be able to bring a package together is to try to get all of those voices heard and then to be able to push something across the finish line. In the Senate, I've got to have 60 people, which means it's going to have to be a bipartisan bill, but it's got to also actually solve the problem. It can't be so watered down that it doesn't fix the problem.
Lankford was optimistic the group might be able to release actual bill text this week, but he acknowledged today progress has slowed a bit.
Going through all the text is extremely complicated and obviously something that the Biden administration's not been forward leaning into, quite frankly. They don't really want to do a lot of border security issues on this, so they're continuing to be able to push back on some of the areas.
Lankford didn't specify in which areas, but he says policy decisions come from the top, from the president, and impeaching Homeland Security Secretary Mayorkas won't change anything by itself.
Changing the Secretary of Homeland Security is not the issue. We got to change the policies. That's really what's driving this.
Among those scheduled to testify to the, quote, havoc in the heartland caused by Mayorkas' alleged failure to enforce immigration law is Oklahoma Attorney General Gentner Drummond. The hearing begins tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. Central. In our Washington Bureau, I'm Oklahoma's own Alex Cameron.